So Fula coming to you with another video. Shout outs to the whole LDBC. If you choose to, you can like this video, and if you also choose to, you can subscribe to the channel. If you do subscribe to the channel, you'll be in for different content. Some of that content being about this issue that I'm about to talk about again, and also just sports related content as well. Now, man, I just made a video about the swirling agenda, and man, it is really real in the field, man. I'm telling you, I spoke too soon. I really did speak too soon. If I knew what I knew now about this new development, I would have put the two videos together. I would have consolidated them. But now there's another show coming out called Bob and Abiola. And so, or it's either Bob and Abiola or it's Bob and Abisola. And what it's about is it's about this one guy. I think he's he's like a middle class guy who has health problems, and he goes into a hospital, and he falls in love with a Nigerian immigrant nurse. And I'm just like, okay, if it's not blatantly obvious that the swirling agenda is real, then this is more blatantly obvious right now. And the thing is, man, is there's one narrative being pushed mostly, like, that I see over all the other narratives more than any others. And that's the, Caucasian man being with a black woman, and man, it's just crazy because, I really feel that, in all corners, we're being like attacked economically, physically, psychologically, and definitely with this family thing, man. What I have to say about these things is that, me personally, as I said before, you choose who you want to be with. That's on you. If you decide to be with someone, so be it. If you decide to be with someone who's from a different ethnic background than you, then so be it. But now it's just, as I said in the last video, it's just blatantly obvious now that they're really trying to push this agenda down our throats, because what they're basically saying, what they're basically saying in a subtle kind of way, subtle but in your face kind of way, they're basically saying, upgrade, get you one of them, because if you stay with your own, then you're not gonna get far. You know what I mean? They're also saying that basically that the grass is greener on the other side. That's what they're saying too, with these sitcoms, with these new shows coming out and things like that. Now I'm still trying to dive into the reason why this agenda is being pushed so much. Now, I know one of the reasons being probably because of the family. Let's face it, family is the family structure. If it's right and if it's in a good way, it's a strong structure. It can breed success. We just got to look at like, let me think of like a famous family or something like that. Famous like black family that, you know, bred success. I mean, although they do take some roles that I don't agree with or I don't like, you can just look at the Wayne's family. You know, all of them are pretty much like successful. You know, when you look at when you look at Marlon Wayans, Shawn Wayans, Keenan Ivory Wayans, Damon Wayans, like all that family is just successful. You know what I mean? And that started with the parents. You know, the parents obviously instilled something in them to bring that success. You know what I mean? So you have to look at like, let me think of another family. Because the problem is you don't have that many examples of like black families that are successful. You know what I mean? Let's just, I guess, look at what else? Who can we look at? Successful, you know. Well, let me just use one of my coaches, for example. I mean, one of my coaches, you know, he came from a family structure, you know, that instilled the values of education in him. And that led to him, you know, having more than one degree, having multiple degrees, and one of those degrees being a doctorate, you know. This is what I think is the bottom line with this, you know. I'm trying to think of other reasons why, you know, like that this happens. You know, I'm just trying to like wrap my head around it, you know, about why this agenda is being pushed. You know, I'm really trying to think about this right now. Perhaps maybe someone wants to come do a hangout with me or a Zoom meeting with me so we can get to the bottom of this, you know, because it's making no sense, you know, because the way I look at it, you know, with this like swirling agenda being pushed, it doesn't solve the racism issue. The reason why it's not going to solve the racism issue is, let's just take a scenario. Let's say if, let me just make up a name, basically. Let's just say Sophia, all right? Let's just say Sophia marries Billy, right? Sophia marries Billy. Sophia decides to drive alone. She gets pulled over by the cops. She gets treated in a very brutal way, very very like racist way. And, you know, Billy's not with her. So, you know, that protection or that, you know, that security is not going to be there. You know what I mean? Regardless if she did or not, she can't tell a cop that, you know, oh, I married a white guy, you know, my husband is white, you know, it's not going to make a difference, you know. You know, I wouldn't have a problem with this thing if it just happened organically, but it's not happening organically. It's being forced, you know, and like I said before, man, I may just have to get a girl from my village, you know, and marry her, you know, because like, you know, she hasn't been exposed to these kind of dynamics. And, you know, what I can do is, you know, I can just like teach her like about like urban culture and things like that, and just let her know what to look out for, let her know what's going on so she can be aware. You know what I mean? because I think like at this point, man, like, and I'm not trying to sound like a pessimist, but the way they're pushing this swirling, man, it's getting to a point now where like it's getting to a point where, you know, you be seeing some pretty, like some pretty black women, like they be looking bomb, you know what I mean? But then all of a sudden you see them with like, you know, you see them with these playing on the other side of the team, and you're just like, wow, you know. And it's like, you know, with me, you know, and I can only speak for me. I work hard as hell, you know, like, I mean, this YouTube thing, although I'm able to drop content and stuff on YouTube, if I were to take you through like my work day, my training day, you guys would probably be like, how does this nigga like do it? Basically, I'm not trying to brag or anything like that, but I work very, very hard, you know what I mean? The thing is this, man, we have a lot of things going against us, man, because, you know, like, I don't think that like there's two dynamics that we're looking at. You know, there's two dynamics of the media that we're looking at. You know, we're looking at it from like on the black female entertainment side of things. You know, the more like women, the more black women who present themselves as quote unquote baddies or whatever the case may be, are less drawn to niggas who like have like, how should I say it, are forward thinking progressive niggas who have goals in their mind, who have like owning land in their mind, who have like some those kind of things, you know, who are respectful, who were raised like to be gentlemen, like Renaissance men, you know, who have chivalry. They're less drawn to them, and then they become drawn to the quote unquote thug. And then once they get drawn to the thug, they decide, okay, that's enough with the thug, you know, let me see if the grass is greener on the other side, before they even gave the green grass the chance that they have from their own, you know what I mean? And then on the men's side of things, you know, it's pretty bad that, you know, some of us do present ourselves as thugs and things like that nature, for the simple fact that, you know, that's what, you know, a lot of our women are drawn towards, you know, because it's being pushed in the media, it's being pushed through the music and things like that, you know what I mean? So those are two dynamics, you know. And the crazy thing is, the mastermind behind all of this is just sitting back, laughing, and pulling the strings, man. That's the crazy thing about this whole situation. And then, you know, I want to mention something else too, you know, about this whole situation. As far as now, some will argue and say, well, you know, the reason why like the women are swirling, you know, is because a lot of black dudes swirl. And that is pretty true, but the problem is, you know, the problems are stemming from, you know, the broken structure that we have between each other, you know, because there's the other extreme. Besides the baddies and stuff like that, there's the other extreme who will say, like, you know, I'm independent, I don't need a man, you know, this man has to have like a 7-figure salary, to mess with me, we have to go shopping minimum like 4 times a week. Those dynamics play a part in that. So a dude may say, man, I'm not good enough, so I might as well go with someone who's like maybe less demanding. And usually the ones who are less demanding are just the ones who are thirsty for big black rod, you know what I mean? And they don't look at us to have a soul. I mean, when you look at it, we see this play out in that show 90 Day Fiance. We see it played out all the time. I have yet to see a couple that is actually just black and black. I have yet to see a couple in that show that's just black person going out with another black person. Even if that black person is from, like, let's say if a African dude found a Caribbean woman, they would probably never put that on that show. I mean, because even in the next season, you have, I think she's from the islands with this white dude, and then you have a black dude who's going out with this Eastern European. So this issue is definitely being pushed. It's complete, utter crap. Me personally, I'm going to stick with my guns. For the most part, all of the guys who I study have always, had, black women. Thomas Sankara, his wife was black. Amilcar Cabral, his second wife was from his neck of the woods. She was black. Maurice Bishop, his wife was from Grenada as well. Those are just to name a few. And yeah, man, that's just how it goes, basically, And I'm not, and don't get it twisted. Like, this is one thing that, like, people get twisted about me. I'm not the type to, like, venerate and call the black woman God. I'm not the type to call a black woman goddess. I'm not the type to do that, It's just not in my psyche to do that. It has to be shown through action more than anything. And so I feel that, I'm respectful to women. I don't feel like I disrespect women or anything like that. I feel that I'm very cool, calm, and collected when it comes to them. As I said, I don't court women, just as it stands to be. Just meet me halfway, and then that way it can work out even better. That's how I look at this whole scenario. So, with these things being said, you just gotta basically stay tuned, because the problem is you have black women pushing that agenda too, and so, man, I don't know what to say, man, anymore. If it's not blatantly obvious with this show, I don't know how more it can become blatantly obvious what's going on. You know what I mean? You just even have to look at the case with the Kardashians. The Kardashians, most of them, they have black boyfriends. But why is it the one who doesn't have a black boyfriend, they don't really report on her? They only report on the ones with the black boyfriends, And guess what? Usually the time when they do report on the ones with the black boyfriends, they always put them in bad light. That they're always caught with their pants down or doing something. So that just furthermore gives the image that, oh, these niggas are no good. you know. But anyhow, man, that's all I got for now, man. Leave your thoughts, leave your comments, man. Let me know what you think about this show coming out, and let me know how you feel about these issues. And let me know if you want to get on a Zoom meeting or a Hangouts before it disappears, so we can talk about these things, because I'm open to talk about them, and I'm open to like discuss and things like that. You know, I may mess around and create a a, a tri-continental dating app for black people, like meet black singles from Africa, Caribbean, Latin America, or something like that. But full signing out, man.